Hello and welcome to 5-Year Club video number 128, brought to you all the way from sunny South Pasadena, California. Today's video is on memories, and I'm just walking around because I don't have my microphone with me, and I figured that the visuals would be a little bit more interesting. Today's video is going to be on memories, and I'm going to talk about needs versus wants a little bit. And I wanted to clarify, I guess, that I think one way to view need versus want is long-term happiness. You know, because people will say like, oh, you don't need it if it doesn't, you know, if it doesn't fall in the category of subsistence living. But, you know, life is about more than just subsisting. Anyhow, what I mean is, like, when I say that I didn't need something, what I mean is that I really know that it would not contribute to my long-term happiness. Alright, so first part of the video is I'm going to discuss things that I have done wrong in the past. And thankfully I don't think of them very often now, but I did do them. And probably the number one mistake that I've made is I've just bought a lot of stuff that I don't need, I don't have space for, and I don't have time to use it. So, you know, it's not like a terrible bill/punishment thing, but it's money that's down the drain and not contributing to my happiness, and actually it's a burden because now I gotta sell that stuff. Number two is, in the past I have overdrawn my bank account more times than I can count. And even as late as 2013 I found some overdrafts. That's painful. Number three is I used a no-interest loan that I didn't need to buy something that I didn't need, so I didn't even have to take out the loan, but I did because I would still have more cash in my bank account. Then I failed to pay off that loan within the 90 days or whatever it is, and they slammed me with the full $400 of interest. Maybe it was 6 months, I forgot what the time period was, but whatever it was, I was a dumbass and I had to pay an extra $400. Let's see, I failed to pay taxes on some income once and got hit with a $3,800 bill for that. Let's see, I invested with a guy that I didn't really trust and just kind of stayed in because it was easier, like, relationally, to not move the money out. And probably over the course of having my money with this guy, I probably lost around $20,000. And of course I ran up about $16,000 in credit card debt and just kind of revolved that, paid interest on it for a year. That wasn't a good idea. And I think that one of the reasons I want to go over all these things is because we forget our financial mistakes so quickly. We do something wrong, or we spend a lot of money on something and we think, oh, that was a bad idea, but our brains want to protect us, and so the brain's like, well, I'm definitely going to forget that. But see, when the brain forgets that thing, the problem now is that you don't have a realistic view of your finances anymore, and you repeat the same stupid mistake again later, which is why I've overdrawn my bank account so much in the past, is because I'd overdraw and get a $35 fee, and then I'd kind of forget that, and then like a month or two later I'd overdraw and get another fee. So yeah, that's not good. The other thing is, like, when you make a big spending thing and then you get some happiness from it, typically that happiness dissolves, at least for me, like within like 2 or 3 days. And then you don't really remember that you spent the money, but you're also tempted to go out and spend again, buy something else, bid on something on eBay. And eBay's a tricky case, because when you bid on something on eBay, you're not 100% sure that you're actually going to buy it. So you can kind of pretend that you're going to bid on it and not buy it, which is like almost like you never spent the money. Yeah, anyway. Our financial situation is complex. There's a lot of moving parts in our financial life, but the heuristics that our brain uses, heuristics are like approximations to determine if we can afford an impulse purchase. Those heuristics suck because our brain isn't loading the full data set when it calculates, you know, whether you should spend that extra $50. And advertisers know that our brains are really bad, and so they game the crap out of these heuristics. I mean, especially with things like the word save, you know? Like to say, like, you can save 50%. And you're like, whoa, I'm gonna save 50%. So you buy the thing, and then it's like, no, you didn't save 50%, you just spent some money. Which is, you know, spending is the opposite of saving. So it's almost like when you go down the street or the mall or whatever, and you see something that says like sale, save 50%. You should just like replace the word save with like spend money. You know, just the sign just says spend money, because that's really what's going on there. Yeah, and because our memory is so bad for these things, it's worth it to sit down and do actual financial planning and list out the actual numbers and how things work out. Because the more that you do that, the more that your like quick impulse buy decision-making brain will understand emotionally that by not spending money, it's saving money, and it'll understand emotionally like what that saving money is going to get it. So like the more financial planning you do, the more that like on sale sign for clothing or DVDs or video game systems or whatever it is, the more that like you see that sign and you're like, oh, that sign means I'm not going to be able to afford at home if I follow its instructions. Or, you know, oh, that sign means that I'm not going to be able to travel and see the world. I'm just going to have, you know, more stuff, or, you know, more, I don't know, more convenient food. Is that a thing? I mean, you can spend a lot eating out, but what I found is like it's difficult to eat out a lot and get the exercise you need to work off those calories. So there's kind of a trade-off there. Anyway, yeah, doing the boring financial planning trains your emotional brain so you actually feel better about not spending, and then you're just happier overall because you don't have FOMO about not spending. You have like, I don't know, what's a good word? Looking forward to having money. Luftum. Yeah, you've got some luftum. So, yeah. That's what I found for me anyway. It's been extremely helpful. Kind of along those lines, I have wanted to make like a play or something, like a skit, where I kind of reenact a lot of the flawed financial decision-making people do. Like both in the course of spending too much money and just like the horrible games we play when we run out of money. I mean, I can remember a few years ago, like looking up and panicking about what I needed to sell to cover this incoming bill that I didn't have money for in my bank account, which was completely absurd because, you know, at the time I was making like engineer salary, and yet I was insolvent. And it's like, what the hell's going on? Which, I mean, now it seems completely absurd to me, but, you know, at the time I didn't know any better. I was like, I was a financial baby. And I think that people, you know, more so than listening to a video of me, you know, talking while walking around Southern California, I think people, when you do a skit, they can kind of connect more and say like, oh shit, I did that last year. Maybe I should listen to the rest of this. Yeah. All right, well, I think that's all I got for today. I wrote a few things down, but I don't have much time these days. I guess for the weekend or so to make videos. But I'll try to write some stuff down in my free time so that